I matched with a girl who already knew where I lived. I matched with a girl on a dating app who sent me a picture of my bedroom. The picture had been taken from inside my apartment. I never told her where I lived, and I was completely alone when she sent it. I was 26 when this happened, and at the time I was using Hinge because my friends kept telling me I needed to get out more. Her name was Megan. Her profile was normal, almost aggressively normal. 4 pictures, no weird captions, no obvious red flags. She had a golden retriever in one photo, a hiking picture, and one blurry selfie in a coffee shop. We matched on a Tuesday night. She sent the first message. "Okay, you're actually funny." I remember smiling at my phone. We talked for maybe 2 hours that night. Nothing strange. She worked in marketing, liked horror movies, hated crowded bars, and lived about 20 minutes from me. The next day, she messaged me again. This time she said, "Oh, you look familiar." I laughed and told her maybe we'd been to the same places, and she replied, "Maybe." Then she sent a picture. It was a photo of a bedroom. My bedroom. I stared at it for a few seconds because my brain refused to process what I was seeing. The room was dark except for the blue light from my computer monitor. My bed was against the wall. My gray hoodie was lying on the chair beside my desk. And in the corner of the picture was the wooden bookshelf I had bought 2 months earlier. There was no doubt it was my room. I immediately called her. She didn't answer. I typed, "Where did you get this?" She saw the message. No reply. Then another message appeared. "You have a bad habit of leaving your curtains open." My stomach dropped. I looked at my window. The curtains were open. I closed them so hard that the rod almost came off the wall. I checked the front door. Locked. Back door. Locked. Every window. Locked. For the next 20 minutes, I searched the apartment like an idiot. Closets, shower, under the bed. Nothing. I called my friend Daniel and told him someone had sent me a picture of my bedroom. He laughed at first. Then I sent him the photo and he stopped laughing. "Dude," he said, "call the police." I told him I already had. The officer who came to my apartment checked the doors and windows. He looked at the picture, asked me if I'd given anyone my address, and searched the building with another officer. They found nothing. No damaged locks, no broken windows, and no footprints, nothing. The officer told me it was possible the person had taken the photo from another apartment or building. That made even less sense. My bedroom faced the back of the building. There was no public sidewalk behind it. That night, I slept at Daniel's place. The next morning, I deleted Hinge and I blocked Megan. I changed my passwords. I even covered the camera on my laptop. I thought that would be the end. It wasn't. At 8:14 the next morning, I got a message from an unknown number. "Your friend has a terrible couch." I froze. Daniel was standing in the kitchen. He had my phone number because we'd been friends for years, but I had never told Megan anything about him. I showed him the message. He immediately asked, "Oh, does she know who I am?" I said no. Then another text appeared on. She should probably stop looking through the window. Daniel slowly turned toward the living room. The window was covered. He walked over and pulled the curtain back 1 inch. Nothing, just the parking lot. We called the police again, and this time they took it more seriously. An officer asked us to preserve everything: screenshots, timestamps, the original image, the number, and my dating profile. When we checked the image metadata, there was nothing useful. But there was one detail I hadn't noticed before. In the reflection of my computer monitor, you could see a small part of the person taking the picture. A hand and a silver ring. I remembered Megan's profile pictures. In one of them, she was holding a coffee cup. On her right hand was a silver ring, the same design. At that point, the police were almost certain Megan was responsible. There was just one problem. We still didn't know where she lived. Her profile disappeared, her phone number stopped working, and every attempt to find her through the dating app led nowhere. A detective asked me to send him every picture from her profile. I did. He called me back about an hour later. There's something weird about these. He explained that the profile photos appeared to have been copied from another account. Megan wasn't Megan. The name was fake, the job was fake, and almost everything was fake. The detective told me not to contact the person behind the account. Then he asked me one question. Have you ever met this woman in person? I said no. He went quiet. Good. He told me to keep my doors locked and stay somewhere else until they could figure out who she was. So I went back to Daniel's. That night, around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed again. One picture, no message. I opened it. It was my apartment building. Taken from across the street, the picture had been taken that night. There was snow on the ground and the windows of my building were almost completely dark, except for mine. My bedroom light was on, and beneath the picture was one sentence. You forgot to turn it off. I didn't sleep. The next morning, the detective called. They had found a lead. A man in another state had reported almost the exact same thing 6 months earlier. He had matched with the same fake profile. The person had sent him photos of his house, then photos of his workplace, then a picture taken through his bedroom window. He had eventually moved. The detective said there were other reports too. Different names, different cities, same pattern. The fake profile would match with someone, talk to them for days, learn their routines, and slowly prove that it was watching them. But there was something worse. The detective said none of the victims had actually been followed during the day. The person only appeared at night. They stayed outside the entire time. They watched, they waited. They never broke in, at least not at first. The detective told me they believed the person was choosing people based on their online habits. People who posted where they worked, people who checked in at restaurants, and people who photographed their apartments, people who left location services turned on. I deleted every social media account I had. I moved out of my apartment 3 weeks later. For a while, nothing happened. No messages, no calls, and no pictures. I started to believe it was finally over. Then, almost 2 months later, I downloaded Hinge again. I know how stupid that sounds. I didn't use my real name. I didn't connect to Instagram. I removed every picture except one. A completely generic photo of me standing outside a coffee shop. I made the profile late at night. Within 10 minutes, I got a match. Her name was Megan. Same face, same pictures. Except this time there was something different. Her bio had only 4 words. I missed your bedroom. I dropped my phone. The profile disappeared before I could screenshot it. I contacted the detective immediately. He told me to stop using the app. I did. I haven't downloaded another dating app since, but the part that still bothers me happened a few weeks later. I was cleaning out the storage unit from my old apartment when I found an envelope taped underneath one of my boxes. There was no name on it. Inside was a photograph. It was a picture of me sleeping, taken from the foot of my bed. The date printed on the back was 3 days before I ever matched with Megan. I checked the photograph again and again. The furniture was correct. The gray hoodie was on the chair. The bookshelf was there. Everything. But there was one detail I couldn't explain. In the photograph, my bedroom curtains were closed, which meant the person who took that picture hadn't been standing outside the window. They had been inside my apartment, and that was when I realized the photo Megan sent me wasn't the first photo she had taken of me. It was the first one she wanted me to see.